Welcome to HD Rare Coins, your ultimate source for rare coins, fascinating history, and the thrill of discovery. From legendary pennies to hidden gems, we explore the world of numismatics one amazing coin at a time. In the heart of the American numismatic world, the 1982 USA half-dollar coin has emerged as a beacon for collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts alike. It is not merely a piece of metal minted in Denver, but rather a powerful symbol of an era defined by economic tension, cultural shifts, and remarkable transitions in U.S. minting history. To truly appreciate the magnitude of this coin's significance, we must embark on a journey through time, back to the early 1980s, a period marked by inflation woes, changing political landscapes, and technological advancements in minting practices. The year 1982 was a turning point in many aspects. Ronald Reagan had taken office just a year before, ushering in a conservative wave and economic reforms aimed at taming the rampant inflation that had plagued the United States throughout the late 1970s. Amid these sweeping changes, the U.S. Mint was undergoing transformations of its own. In response to budget constraints and rising production costs, significant decisions were made, decisions that would affect coinage and the collector's market for years to come. The 1982 Kennedy half-dollar is emblematic of this period. As the economic climate dictated cost-cutting measures, the mint scaled back the production of half-dollars, making them less available to the public. This scarcity, combined with specific characteristics of the 1982 issue, created the perfect storm for numismatic rarity. Unlike its earlier counterparts, the 1982 half-dollar was struck without a mint mark on certain dies, a phenomenon that would later intrigue collectors and specialists. This coin, like all Kennedy half-dollars, bears the iconic image of President John F. Kennedy, a leader whose legacy continues to captivate generations. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, the obverse of the coin features Kennedy's profile, sharp and resolute, with the word "Liberty" boldly arching across the top. Below, the phrase, "In God We Trust," is divided by the bust, with the date, 1982, nestled at the base. The detail in Kennedy's hair, the strength in his gaze, and the classic serif font combine to deliver a visually striking tribute. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, presents the heraldic eagle inspired by the presidential seal. With wings spread wide, a bundle of arrows in one talon, and an olive branch in the other, the eagle is encircled by 50 stars representing the states. Above it, the phrase, "United States of America," and below, the denomination, half-dollar, reinforce its American identity. However, what sets the 1982 Kennedy half-dollar apart isn't just its aesthetics. It's the context in which it was minted and the unique anomalies it possesses. A noteworthy detail is that this coin was one of the first to feature significant changes in production, particularly the move away from the use of 90% silver, a transition that had started in the late 1960s but had fully taken hold by the 1980s. By this point, all circulating half-dollars were composed of copper-nickel clad, which significantly altered their weight and feel compared to earlier versions. Collectors quickly noted that the 1982 issue had another unusual characteristic: the unavailability of uncirculated sets from the U.S. Mint. Unlike in previous and subsequent years, the Mint did not produce these sets in 1982 and 1983 due to budgetary restrictions. This absence meant that collectors had fewer high-quality specimens to choose from, making well-preserved examples from circulation even more valuable. Over time, as more coin enthusiasts and experts began scrutinizing these coins, it became apparent that the 1982 Kennedy half-dollar had several die varieties, including overstrikes and doubled dies, features that are often the hallmark of collectible coins. Additionally, the condition of surviving examples varied widely, with many showing significant wear due to circulation, while others remained in surprisingly pristine states. One of the most fascinating stories surrounding this coin involves its journey from common change to coveted treasure. Imagine a young collector in the mid-1980s, sifting through rolls of coins picked up from a local bank. Among the glinting metal discs, one coin catches the eye, not because of any dramatic difference, but due to its sharp strike and curious lack of wear. That coin, a 1982 half-dollar, is kept aside, treasured, and eventually preserved. Decades later, that same coin is brought to an auction house. Under the careful eye of experts, it's graded and deemed to be in near-perfect condition. Further examination reveals the absence of surface nicks, full detail in the strike, and a brilliant luster uncommon for a coin of that age. The coin is labeled as MS67 by the grading agency, a near-flawless specimen. As the auctioneer's hammer falls, the final bid reaches a staggering $165,000. This event sends ripples through the numismatic community, reaffirming the belief that history, rarity, and condition form the triad of true value in coin collecting. The 1982 D. Kennedy half-dollar, once just another coin in circulation, now stands as a testament to how everyday objects can gain legendary status over time. From the bustling mint floors in Denver to the velvet-lined cases of elite collectors, the 1982 D. half-dollar has traveled a remarkable path. Its story is one of transformation, of how a product of economic necessity became a symbol of historical intrigue and collector passion. For those who hold this coin in their collection, it's more than just a metallic disc. It's a fragment of history, a conversation starter, and a prized possession. The next time you come across a half-dollar dated 1982 with a small D beneath Kennedy's neck, take a moment to appreciate its journey. Because hidden in its copper-nickel layers lies a narrative of American resilience, craftsmanship, and the enduring allure of numismatic discovery. And who knows? You might just be holding a treasure worth $165,000. The deeper one delves into the world of this coin, the more fascinating details emerge. Consider the influence of the coin's absence in government-issued mint sets. This decision made high-quality examples rare from the onset, and by default, any half-dollar dated 1982 from Denver had to survive years of circulation to stand out. Collectors started to pay special attention to roll finds, inherited coin jars, or even change from vending machines. Stories began to circulate within the coin collecting community, tales of unsuspecting individuals who stumbled across shiny, well-preserved 1982 D half-dollars, only to later discover their unexpected value. Over time, coin grading services played a pivotal role in further solidifying the legend of this coin. Grading a coin isn't simply about assessing its surface, it's a form of storytelling. A high MS, mint state, grade doesn't just signify perfection, it reflects a legacy of survival. And the few 1982 D half-dollars that managed to retain sharp details and untouched fields through decades of circulation were elevated to near-mythical status. The stories don't stop at auctions or collector circles. Even casual coin hobbyists began to scour their collections, checking every half-dollar from 1982 under magnification. Forums lit up with questions, photographs, and discoveries. Social media groups focused solely on Kennedy half-dollars flourished, and in nearly every one of them, the 1982 D would be brought up again and again. It became a reference point, a benchmark for what makes a modern coin valuable, and yet, what makes this coin particularly compelling is its blend of accessibility and mystique. It was not a coin made in tiny numbers or intended only for collectors. It was a product of mass production, created in the millions. But despite that, the scarcity of pristine examples has elevated its status in the collecting world. It's a reminder that even the most commonplace objects, under the right conditions, can achieve extraordinary worth. The cultural impact of the 1982 D half-dollar also deserves mention. Kennedy half-dollars, in general, have long held sentimental value among Americans. They are often associated with milestone gifts, family keepsakes, or the nostalgia of a bygone era. The 1982 D, in particular, adds an extra layer of intrigue, combining that emotional resonance with genuine rarity. When collectors discuss the great modern coins of the 20th century, the 1982 D half-dollar invariably makes the list. For those just entering the hobby, the journey of discovering this coin can be eye-opening. What begins as a casual interest can quickly become an obsession, fueled by tales of unexpected windfalls and historical insights. It teaches patience, research, and the thrill of discovery. For seasoned numismatists, it offers a challenge, finding that elusive high-grade example or tracing the lineage of a coin that survived untouched for decades, and so, the legend of the 1982 D USA half-dollar continues to grow. It's more than a story of metal and minting, it's a narrative that spans decades, crosses generations, and inspires collectors around the world. Whether found in a grandparent's drawer or won in a heated auction, it remains one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history, and yes, its value today, a staggering $165,000, cements its place among the elite. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the stories behind coins that have gone from ordinary to extraordinary. Because every coin has a story, and some, like the 1982 D half dollar, are legends in the making. The mystery of why this specific issue gained such notoriety continues to invite speculation. Was it simply the absence of mint sets? Or did something more intangible elevate the coin's mystique? Some theorists within the coin community suggest that the cultural image of President Kennedy contributed just as much as minting anomalies. Kennedy, after all, remains an enduring symbol of American hope and loss. In the sprawling landscape of American coinage, where tradition, artistry, and history converge, there exists a singular coin whose tale deserves a place among the most captivating of them all, the 1998 USA half dollar. While its surface gleams with the familiar visage of John F. Kennedy, beneath that iconic profile lies a narrative of precision, subtle rarity, and the unexpected journey from pocket change to numismatic treasure. This story begins not with a rare metal or an obvious minting error, but rather with a deeper look into how a seemingly ordinary coin became a legend among collectors. The year was 1998. America stood on the threshold of a new millennium. The economy was roaring, fueled by a booming tech sector, low unemployment, and a sense of optimism that permeated both Wall Street and Main Street. Bill Clinton was nearing the end of his second term, and the internet was beginning to reshape society in ways previously unimagined. Yet amid these monumental shifts, the United States Mint quietly went about its business, producing billions of coins to keep the gears of commerce turning. Among these coins was the Kennedy half dollar. First introduced in 1964 as a tribute to the slain president, it had become a staple of American coinage. By the 1990s, however, the half dollar was largely a coin of habit rather than necessity. Circulation had dwindled. People simply didn't use half dollars as they once did. But the mint continued to produce them, primarily for collectors and for fulfilling minimal transactional demand. In 1998, the Denver Mint struck millions of these coins, each bearing the small D mint mark tucked below Kennedy's neck. At first glance, the 1998 D half dollar seemed no different from its immediate predecessors. It was struck in the copper-nickel-clad composition that had become standard since the removal of silver from general circulation coins. Its weight, diameter, and metallic resonance matched its siblings. On the obverse, Gilroy Roberts' enduring design of Kennedy gazed forward, a symbol of American hope and resilience. The reverse, created by Frank Gasparo, continued to showcase the heraldic eagle, an image steeped in national pride, grasping arrows and an olive branch, surrounded by 50 stars. But in the world of coin collecting, context is everything. What sets the 1998 D half dollar apart isn't just its scarcity and pristine condition, it's the convergence of historical, cultural, and production nuances that transformed it into an object of desire. The late 1990s saw a resurgence in coin collecting, driven partly by the Mint's increasing focus on commemoratives and the upcoming launch of the 50-state quarters program. Collectors were becoming more discerning. They were paying closer attention to mintages, strike quality, and die varieties. It was during this period that numismatists began to notice something curious about the 1998 D half dollar. While many were produced, exceptionally high-grade specimens were surprisingly hard to come by. The Mint had not issued the coin in special collector sets for circulation that year, which meant that most of the coins entered general use. And circulation is a harsh environment for coins. Pocketware, vending machines, and cash registers take their toll. As a result, very few 1998 D half dollars emerged in mint state condition, and even fewer in the upper echelons of grading. Then came the discoveries, tiny anomalies, die polish lines, and variances in strike depth that began to set certain coins apart. Collectors began to scour their change, old bank rolls, and forgotten jars. Dealers and grading services started to report increased submissions of 1998 D half dollars. Most were average, circulated, worn, and common. But a handful were different. They showed full strikes, immaculate surfaces, and remarkable eye appeal. It became clear that the 1998 D was not rare in quantity, but rare in quality. One such coin, uncovered by an unsuspecting hobbyist in Colorado, had sat untouched for years in a childhood coin folder. When it was finally submitted for grading, the results were astonishing. Graded as MS-68 by a top-tier agency, the coin was virtually flawless, its luster unbroken, its fields unblemished. Word spread quickly. The coin went to auction. Bidding was fierce. And when the gavel finally dropped, the price was nothing short of historic, $115,000. This sale sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. A coin from 1998, barely old enough to be considered vintage, had commanded a price reserved for much older rarities. But the reasons were clear. It was a perfect storm, a coin struck during a low-demand era, mostly used in circulation, never preserved in uncirculated sets, and almost never found in pristine condition. The 1998 D half-dollar had become a modern legend. Today, the coin continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. It is studied, admired, and sought after by those who understand that true value in numismatics often hides in plain sight. It's a testament to the importance of preservation, the thrill of discovery, and the enduring allure of American coinage. For those lucky enough to own a top-graded 1998 D half-dollar, it's more than a coin, it's a piece of history, a financial asset, and a symbol of what makes collecting so deeply rewarding. The journey of the 1998 D half-dollar reminds us that numismatic treasures aren't always buried deep in time. Sometimes, they're nestled within our lifetimes, waiting for a sharp eye and a bit of luck to reveal their worth. As collectors continue to explore the vast tapestry of U.S. coinage, the story of this coin serves as both inspiration and challenge. Because somewhere out there, another treasure waits to be found. As we delve deeper into the history of the 1998 D Kennedy half-dollar, it's important to remember that it wasn't just another coin produced for circulation. Its legacy would transcend its monetary value, gaining prominence due to its association with a chapter in American history that continues to captivate the collective imagination. The story of the Kennedy half-dollar has, in many ways, paralleled the changing fortunes of the United States itself, especially during times of growth and reflection. In fact, for coin enthusiasts, the 1998 D half-dollar isn't just a token of currency, it's a reminder of a past era, a period marked by the tragic loss of one of the nation's most beloved leaders, John F. Kennedy. While his death in 1963 was a moment of national mourning, the Kennedy half-dollar became an enduring tribute to his legacy, one that remains a cherished part of American numismatic history. The coin's design, which captured his strong, resilient image, symbolized the strength of the American spirit in the face of adversity. Fast forward to the 1990s, and the coin's design had already become iconic. The 1998 D Kennedy half-dollar, though produced in significant numbers, would end up being something of an enigma. Many of the coins were quickly circulated and often met with wear and tear. But a select few managed to escape that fate. These pristine specimens, kept in mint condition, would go on to become treasures of immense value, prized by collectors who knew their worth. The preservation of such coins is part of the reason for their rarity. After all, most half-dollars from the era were subject to heavy circulation, making high-grade examples scarce. However, a small percentage of those 1998 D half-dollars remained unscathed and found their way into the hands of dedicated collectors who recognized their potential. Over time, as demand grew and interest in these coins continued to rise, the 1998 D Kennedy half-dollar became a symbol of rare numismatic beauty and value. And so, with all these factors in play, its rich historical backdrop, iconic design, and limited availability, the 1998 D Kennedy half-dollar has emerged as an unexpected treasure, valued at a remarkable $115,000 today. In 1998, the United States was thriving economically. The country was in the midst of a technology boom, with the internet reshaping businesses, entertainment, and daily life. Yet, this period of prosperity also marked the last few years of the tradition of the Kennedy half-dollar in public circulation. By the early 2000s, the coin's use in everyday transactions had significantly diminished. It was no longer as common in pocket change, and the U.S. Mint had shifted its focus toward producing smaller denomination coins. The Kennedy half-dollar became more of a commemorative piece than a staple of everyday currency. This shift in circulation habits would ultimately benefit collectors. As the Kennedy half-dollar became less common in circulation, its value increased, not just in terms of its metal content, but because it became harder to find, especially in mint condition. For collectors and investors, coins like the 1998 Kennedy half-dollar became prized finds, especially those that were well preserved and free from the usual signs of wear and tear. There is an undeniable sense of nostalgia tied to the Kennedy half-dollar. For many, it represents more than just a coin, it represents an era. Whether it's a connection to the post-World War II optimism or a personal memory of receiving one as a gift, the coin has maintained a sentimental value that few other coins from the same period can match. This emotional resonance has only served to increase its appeal among collectors, with each piece representing a unique connection to the past. That it's important to note that, while the 1998 Kennedy half-dollar is valued for its rarity, it also embodies the changing trends in coin collecting. In the 1990s, the coin market was becoming more organized, with grading services playing a central role in determining a coin's value. A coin like the 1998 when graded at high levels, such as MS-65 or higher, was recognized for its historical value, and collectors were more willing to invest in such pieces.